Guardians of the Galaxy is a 2014 Marvel film that I just got back from seeing. It was directed by James Gunn, and the plot of this movie is we meet Chris Pratt, who calls himself Star-Lord, because if you were a little kid who got abducted by aliens and have been in space for over 20 years, you'd probably give yourself a badass nickname like that too. I know I would. Well, he's basically trying to collect this orb so that he could sell it and get a bunch of money. But unfortunately for him, he's not the only one that's looking for this orb. Not only are these certain aliens who come into contact with him and sort of become unlikely allies, but there's one person out there in the galaxy, namely Thanos, who wants this as well. Now, what I thought of Guardians of the Galaxy was, I love this movie. I did. And it's funny because going into this, I kind of expected to like it. And it helped that a lot of movie critics that I saw gave this great reviews. But then I started to see some people tell me that they were upset by this movie, that they were underwhelmed. Some were disappointed by it, and that had me a little worried. But after watching it, I can't imagine why they were disappointed. This movie gave me everything and more that I wanted from a Marvel film, because it was funny, it had a lot of great action, great special effects, it had characters that were funny, interesting, and I cared about. And not only that, this was a huge, huge risk for Marvel. Marvel, I don't want to say they've been playing it safe, because sure, at the beginning, doing a movie like Iron Man and Thor and whatnot were risks, but once those were proven successes, and especially after the Avengers, doing sequels to those movies were a no-brainer. Of course you're going to do that. But here's a film, Guardians of the Galaxy. I consider myself a pretty decent comic book fan, but I knew next to nothing about these guys. And it was refreshing to go into a superhero film and not know anything. Not know anything about the characters, how they all are going to come together or connect, or their backstory. I was fully interested and enthralled to learn about a lot of these characters. Let's talk about some of these characters. Chris Pratt, I really like him as a leading man, and man, he's gotten himself in great shape. It's funny because it was kind of only for the one scene where you see him without his shirt. The rest of the movie he's wearing a shirt and a jacket, so it's like, yeah, he worked out like crazy for that one moment. But he was hilarious throughout the film. I really liked him being the smart-ass guy who, at the end of it all, has a good heart. Zoe Saldana is an alien who is the adopted daughter of Thanos, so that instantly makes her an interesting character because she doesn't like Thanos. She wants to actually stop him from doing the crazy things that he's doing. And if somehow it was possible, Zoe Saldana in green is even more hot than just plain Zoe Saldana. Yes, I said that. You also have Dave Bautista, who I was interested in seeing in here because he is a wrestler from WWE, and I was wondering how his acting is going to be. But watching him, I liked the way he played the character, because he played Drax the Destroyer as this big, huge, badass guy, of course, but he was funny because he took everything seriously. And it wasn't like he was a dumb guy, but whenever Chris Pratt would try to joke with him or do metaphors and references, he just couldn't understand it. He took things too literally to understand the joke, and that's why I liked him in this film. Vin Diesel voices Groot, and Groot is a big-ass talking tree. It's funny that they casted Vin Diesel to do this, but not only that, Groot only says 3 words: I am Groot. And somehow he's able to give emotion, give characterization, and make me like this sort of dumb character, but he was essential to the group. But probably my favorite of the Guardians of the Galaxy had to be Rocket. The talking raccoon, which I know when I told my friends that this movie had a talking raccoon, a lot of them were like, what the fuck? Really? I'll pass. A lot of people just can't wrap their head around this character being here and trying to take it seriously. The cool thing about it is that you don't take it seriously, that it is played up for comedy. But he's also a multi-layered character. He is this little short guy who is sensitive and doesn't like when people make fun of him. He's tough, he's a badass in his own right, and he was hilarious. Bradley Cooper, who voiced him, if I didn't know beforehand that this was Bradley Cooper, I wouldn't have known it was him. He is totally immersed into voicing this character. And not only that, the rest of the movie has a great cast. Like, the villain, Ronan, is played by Lee Pace, who, I will admit, Ronan was a little bit generic and just kind of like, I'm this big evil guy who seems unstoppable. I think what I liked the most about him was not only was he working for Thanos, but the fact that he was Kree. And Kree is an alien race from the Marvel Universe that I've heard about, read up about. We have Karen Gillan, who is another daughter of Thanos. Yes, Thanos has been pretty busy in the galaxy. John C. Reilly, Glenn Close, Jimon Hansu, and Benicio del Toro as the Collector. Such a creepy character, but he was perfect for it. There's so much stuff in this film, too, that I obviously don't want to talk about for spoiler reasons. I just want to say overall, again, this movie completely satisfied my thirst for more Marvel films. I loved the comedy a lot. It made me laugh throughout the whole thing. Great action. I love the special effects. I love being in now the space universe. I love going bigger and grander with the Marvel Universe. And I can't believe in this day of age I have to say this to people, but people in the audience were leaving once the credits started, and I'm just like, guys, stay through the credits. There's something pretty cool and, for me, highly unexpected. It was pretty awesome. Anyways, my rating for Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm going to give it a full price. I'm about this close to giving it better than 6, but I feel like full price is pretty perfect for this movie. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!